Hello, everyone. Welcome back. The terrible peace begins today. Okay. I heard about the inauguration. I was not interested in watching it. Could not bring myself to watch that bullshit. But I know it happened. And this is where we are. Okay, we have to accept reality. We have to accept that there's nothing that we can do about it. The people that could have done something about it chose not to do something about it. Essentially, the only way I can, I see this as that the military, yeah, a bunch of socialists, they get paid by big government. It was in their interest to have Biden, and that's why they, despite all the evidence, they decided that they weren't going to interfere. It's kind of funny because they did not, when we had all those people trying to cross the southern border, the military said they were like they could not get involved in domestic issues, right? But now all of a sudden they have no problem putting whatever 25,000 troops in Washington D.C. So that kind of tells you something about the military. And my position on the military has completely reversed. I mean, my whole life I was pro military. I'm 49 years old, so I've been at this for a while. My whole life I have always supported every war that the United States has fought, including the Vietnam War. I thought it was a great thing because they were fighting socialists, right? They were fighting socialists. I thought it was the best thing. If Reagan had brought us into a nuclear war with the Soviet Union, I would have supported that because, again, we were fighting socialists, right? We were fighting the communists. And now here we are with communists actually in charge of this country. So my position going forward is I will never, ever support any foreign wars. I cannot do that because we got communists here in this country. What do I care about the communists somewhere else or the socialists or the dictators someplace else in the world when we got dictators here in this country, okay? Again, I'm not in a position to do anything about it. Just like the people that were living in, under the Nazis in the 30s, they really couldn't do anything about it. If they tried to do anything about it, they would have been disappeared, right? Same thing with the people living, inside the Soviet Union, in the Stalin era, there was nothing they could do about it. If they tried, they would have been disappeared. They would have been starved to death. It was a terrible situation. So, from our position, the best thing that we can do is to basically just stay low key, let the Democrats eat each other. That's going to start sooner or later. The leftists within the party are going to, leftists within the party are going to start wanting more power, more control. They're going to get some pushback from the corporate Democrats, right? And they're going to start eating at each other. And hopefully long term that they'll collapse from within. Which is not to say that they're not going to try to hurt us, right? Meaning me and you and the people that are watching this video. They're definitely going to try and hurt us. In fact, they're going to be like, okay, let's stop fighting for a while and let's go pick on them for a while. Let's So that's going to happen. They're going to they're going to find common unity in trying to oppress us and trying to hurt us and punish us. Okay, so that's what it's going to be like. So you can't fight them directly. The only thing you can do is basically just try to stay low key and let them go back to fighting each other at some point. At some point, they'll collapse from within. Okay, so that's what that is. As far as the courts, we saw with the second impeachment of President Trump what we can expect from the court system going forward, right? Because basically the example sort of comes from the top, right? So they impeached President Trump the second time, like within 2 hours. All right, what evidence was presented? They couldn't even say that this is what he said because all Trump said was peacefully march over to the Capitol building and let your voices be heard. So they couldn't even use his own words against him. They had to kind of try and guess. This is what or they're basically saying this is what he was thinking. He said this, but he was really thinking that, and that's why he's guilty. Okay, so you can be convicted of what you might be thinking. That's where we are with the kangaroo courts now. We can see with the it was sort of leading in this direction with with the courts with all the fraudulent voter cases that were brought up to them, right? You're showing the courts videos of suitcases of ballots being pulled out from under tables, and the courts won't look at it, right? They're telling you it's not there. You're showing them evidence, and they're telling you it's not evidence. It's not there, right? So how are you going to, how can you defend yourself in the court when this is the logic that you're working through, okay? So, you show them evidence, and they're telling you the evidence is not there. You're telling them that there's no evidence there, right? And and they're saying guilty, right? Like as in the case of President Trump. So that's where we're at with the kangaroo courts, all right? So you're not going to find any justice there. Freedom of speech is gone. We're seeing that from the social media. These social media platforms. They essentially at this point, the Democrat Party, the government, the social media, they're all pretty much the same thing. Okay, so they're the propaganda arm of the Democrat Party. So freedom of speech is gone. Gun rights, forget about it. That's gone. Best advice I can tell you as far as gun rights is, hide some guns, right? Leave some guns out. Those will be your decoy guns, right? So, if there's a case where having a lot of guns can be helpful because, if you've got a lot of guns and you hide a few on the side somewhere, they're not going to be able to tell, okay, that you're hiding a few guns, hide a few boxes of ammunition. But yeah, you're not going to be able to practice, long term. Eventually, that's all going to get shut down. They're going to shut off the ammo, okay? So even if they don't come after the guns immediately, they're going to start limiting your ability to buy the ammunition. They'll tax it to high hell or low hell, whatever. They're gonna tax it so that you're not able to practice. And if you're not able to practice, your skills are gonna degenerate, and you're not gonna become effective, with those tools. Okay, so and like I said, Flynn and McEnary, they must be absolutely crazy. We heard the videos. I don't know what was going on with that. The only thing I can think of is that they were being fed false information for some reason, either to get who they, what they thought might be an insurgency from what they call the radical right, to maybe make them think that, hey, something was going to happen. They didn't need to get involved, okay? Or they were potentially setting these two guys up, to incriminate themselves, right? Maybe these two guys, Flynn and McEnary, thought that they might somehow take charge of something that might happen. But either way, the things that these two guys were saying was absolutely nonsense at this point. There's no other way to address this. Thinking that the presidency of Biden is somehow going to be reversed is nonsense at this point. Again, it doesn't matter what type of evidence we have of fraud. The courts, the Congress will not look at it. McConnell has completely caved in. In fact, I've been a Republican. I've been registered as a Republican my whole life. Okay, today I sent in an electronic. I changed my party affiliation to none. Okay, this is after 49 years. I'm completely disgusted with the Republican Party. The way I see it going forward, there's going to be one party, the Democrat Party, just like there was one party, the Communist Party or the Nazi Party, and at some point you're going to have to submit an application to them, right? You can't, after they do a check on you to make sure that your views align with theirs, then maybe they'll accept you. If not, they'll reject you. Then you can go over to the Republican Party. That'll be the reject party, right? And once you go there, maybe if you prove yourself, right? If you prove that your thinking is in line with the way the Democrats want you, at some later time you can reapply to the Democrat Party. So that's the future that I see. Nothing we can do about it. It's just got to play itself out. I don't recommend you guys try to do anything about it. You cannot. It's just like being in the Soviet Union, through the Stalin era. You cannot fight them. They have no problem making you disappear, right? We can see today that Democrats love prisons, right? Prisons are very, very profitable for them. They love putting kids in prison. They love putting people in prison for for petty crimes. Now they did let them out in 2020 because they did want to see they did want to see the riots. They were hoping that would destabilize Trump's presidency. But yeah, now they're going to go back to just shoving people back in prison into prisons for profit. Okay, so watch yourselves. Don't get caught up in something that's not winnable. I can't tell you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video because I know you're not enjoying this video. I'm not enjoying doing this video. I mean, I like doing videos for you guys, but this is a sad video. So I'm sorry I don't have anything better to report. I was hoping today was going to be a happy day, not a sad day, but it is what it is. We got to come to terms with reality. So if you're not a member of the channel, please subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.